I'm in LA right now, where millions of drivers wake up every morning and choose violence. And when things go wrong on the road, determining which parties are legally liable is not always straightforward. So joining me today to break down viral clips of automotive carnage is the master mechanic Sandro from Real Mechanic Stuff. Sandro, thanks for being here.
Thank you. I've been working on cars for about 30 plus years, and my bread and butter is insurance work. So I know the ins and outs when it comes down to working on your car and dealing with the insurance.
All right, let's roll that first clip.
Oh, look at that. Kills so.
No! Remember, kids, don't drive lifted trucks. It's just not worth it. They're not cool.
When you go higher and you're going such aggressive wheels, make sure you torque them down once in a while. Guess what's gonna happen when you're on the road and you're going so fast and it's so heavy, so big? It'll fly right off. And the damage that it caused on the other car, hopefully there was nobody in the car.
Well, there had to be someone in the car.
Hopefully there was
driving down the freeway.
No kids in the car.
And CHP recovered sheared lug nuts at the scene.
Somebody neglected that or didn't do the job right.
Yeah.
It came right off.
I mean, this one feels like it's a pretty easy case to determine who's liable here. If the driver of the truck is the one that installed the lift kit and the spacers, I mean, that person is 100% liable. If they took it to a shop, that shop could be liable as well. As we talked about in our other video that we did, often liability is not simply 0% liable versus 100% liable. You could divide that. So if, say, the driver is partially responsible and a mechanic shop is partially responsible, each could be 50% liable. And if there's a third defendant, it could be 30, 30, 30. You never know. And in California, it's comparative fault. So each person is going to be responsible for the amount that they are determined by a jury or a fact finder to.
Now, real question would be, would insurance even cover this?
I would think so. I mean, I would think most insurance policies are going to cover this. This is negligence of another driver. So it's not an issue of full coverage or not. I would call that an accident, and I would hope that the Kia's insurance policy would cover that.
Similar situation, they try to blame me at my shop for that.
Yeah.
So this guy came in, we put some 20s on it, right? I checked, make sure the hub's straight, it sits on there right, there's no shaking, no wobbling, no wheel bearing problems, everything's right. Takes off, perfect. After 2 weeks, he comes back and he tells me that he got in an accident. He was saying it's your fault, you're gonna have to pay for this because I messed up my car, crashed into another car, this and this happened. I was like, well, where's the car? And I'm telling him show me where's your car. I went to his house because he's like, oh, it's in my house, blah, blah. And his neighbor goes hey, you're the mechanic? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool, man, you should tell that guy to do his brakes right. He's like, that's what happened. And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, that guy was working on his brakes and he got in an accident. And I was like, when did he work on his brakes? He's like, 2 days ago. I think that the insurance wouldn't cover it because you with it.
That is entirely possible that there could be an aspect to the policy that, if the driver works on their own car, that negates the coverage.
Correct.
It all very much depends on the actual policy itself.
Yeah.
But I think your story is a great one because it shows why when you begin litigation over a motor vehicle accident, often you have to sue, everyone involved because you don't know what happened.
That's
and
true.
In fact, maybe it is the fact that the driver worked on their own car. Mm-hmm. Well, if that's the case, and let's say that you as a plaintiff's attorney sue the driver and the mechanic, and it turns out that the driver worked on their own car. Well, then now you have brought the mechanic into the lawsuit, and you might dismiss them from the lawsuit when you get that kind of testimony.
Gotcha.
But then the mechanic becomes basically a star witness for you to sue the driver because the mechanic is going to also want to show that the driver was at fault and not the mechanic. Next clip. Okay, merging at the same time. Oh, oh, lost it. Oh, lost that one. Oversteer. I don't think they ever made contact with each other.
None of them touched the guy.
That's hilarious.
He hit the wall, then the other fool goes and hits the other side of the wall.
Most people are familiar with a hit and run where you actually do make contact and cause an accident and then you just take off. There's also a thing where if you cause an accident, even where you don't make physical contact, you're still required to stop, exchange information and all that kind of stuff. And California, at least, is one of the states that recognizes that if there's a miss and run, I think it can go up to a felony, basically.
For real?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I thought I dodged the puppy in the road and I almost hit you, but then you go into the other side of the road and you get an accident. But I mean, nothing happened to me, so I'll catch you later.
Yeah, I mean, states want to make sure that even if you're not at fault, you're involved in an accident. And even if you don't make physical contact, you should be there to provide information because it's, it's impossible to know at the scene of the accident or the crash who is the one that's responsible. So better for it to create an obligation for everyone to stop than to have to deal with trying to track someone down after the fact. I don't think this was a miss and run because these drivers are going nowhere. Swerved, missed each other, and then crashed. I would say both of them are probably at fault because it looks like neither of them checked their blind spot before they merged. Next clip, please. Oh, God.
You, home. He's been driving for a cool minute. I'm always thinking if somebody is stumbling out, like drunk as and they don't care. Like, how do you not notice you're scraping the wheel for miles, throwing sparks, people are recording you, and nobody calls the cops either?
Yeah, I'm assuming also that this guy is drunk. This isn't even like low air in your tire.
No.
The tires are gone.
The rim is half of it, just scraping down.
Yeah.
And how hot that is, I guarantee you those brakes are not gonna work.
If the brakes are even left.
Yeah, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
You wouldn't take this guy on as a case.
I don't think anyone can help that guy.
There you go.
All right, next clip.
Tell us who you think was at fault in this accident. We can see driver A approaching a stop sign. He makes a rolling stop, proceeds through the intersection. Driver B approaches and broadsides him. Driver B did not have a stop sign, although he did appear to be going slightly over the speed limit.
All right, so who do you think is liable here?
The California roll.
I think both of them. In California and most states, it's comparative negligence. So it's not a question of who's liable and who isn't. Both can be at fault. And it's probably somewhere close to 50-50 on this one.
Yeah, because the other guy's going really fast, and the other guy just did a California roll.
I think this also presents a good possibility of where the state or the city also might be at fault as well. Cities often know that there are certain intersections where there's just a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
And if they're put on notice that the intersection was defectively designed, and I don't know if this one was or not, it's possible that the city knows that this is a defectively designed intersection, in which case it might be partially at fault as well. So you could have a situation where driver A is, let's say, 40% at fault, driver B is also 40% at fault, and the city is 20% at fault. And if you're the plaintiff, then you would be, suing all three of them.
I'll definitely go with you. I'm calling the Legaleagle quick. What's up? I blew this light, but we're suing everybody, right? Whatever speed they're going it's a residential area, so you should be going no more than like 35, 40 miles an hour. This guy's jamming through like easy 60, 70 miles an hour because he just cracks that car in half.
A car is 3,000 pounds of steel. It could be a deadly weapon at any time.
It is.
And we're so used to it because we all do it almost every day.
Mm-hmm. You could take somebody's life. Easy right there. After somebody gets in an accident, how do you get in contact with you?
Well, I actually started a personal injury law firm to deal with exactly this kind of stuff because people get in accidents all the time. For most people, the idea of getting legal help is prohibitively expensive or risky. And not to mention, you never know if the lawyer that you're getting is the right one for your situation. So I started a law firm where you don't need to pay anything up front, and your lawyers only get paid if you do. And most important, we take the time to actually match you with the best lawyer for your specific case and needs. And as we've seen from all of these cases, the context matters a lot. So if you work with my firm, you're not just getting a lawyer, you're getting a team that understands that behind every case is a real person with real stakes. And if we can't represent you or you're in a state where we don't practice, we'll actually take the time to match you with an attorney in my personal network of lawyers who all have excellent track records of success. So if you're dealing with a personal injury, a car crash, a trucking accident, even if this happened a while ago or an issue in other practice areas like data breach, sexual harassment, social security, or workers' comp, you can give us a call at the number on screen or at the link below. Because you don't just need a legal team, you need the Eagle team.
With that said and done, let's check out this next clip.
And in an update, new video just moments before a
Oh, crap.
drove into a car dealership. Check this
That guy got out of the way.
Semi crashed into several cars. This in Tooele. Tooele City police
it's a
say
double
that
trailer.
truck smashed into
That thing was
5
heavy.
vehicles before crashing into the Tooele Motor Company
Oh.
on 1141 North Main Street. The impact started a fire on the building's east side. You see the flames, all of that black smoke.
Wow.
One person was critically hurt in all of this, 10 others injured.
That looked like kind of an older semi-truck. What could cause the brakes to fail?
The brake cylinder gives out or the air rag gives out, and that's it. You can't even stop that. They have certain places where you can hit the wall.
Well, you mean the ramps?
Yeah, they have ramps. They have like dirt on the side of the freeway when they're coming down, and the brake lines get too hot and it can't stop no more. You go into that dirt and it'll slow you down. I guess he was dodging everything. He saw a dealer and he's like, "This is where I could stop. This big bad boy." That's where he said, I'm either taking a lot of people or I'm just taking a couple of cars. Even though the insurance is going to be super expensive.
Well, okay, so let's talk about liability here. When it comes to semi-trucks like that, generally speaking, not only are they regulated by the states, but there are all kinds of federal regulations because a lot of these semi-trucks are going across state lines. And the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration requires that these trucks conduct regular safety examinations and also requires tons of training. And also, I think, it requires fairly extensive insurance when it comes to these things because these semi-trucks are, basically giant bulldozers that can go 80 miles an hour. So that truck seemed a little older. It might have been failure to maintain, could deal with a mechanics issue, but someone is going to be responsible for
definitely.
all of that damage.
Somebody's paying for that. And like you said, it looks like an older truck. Hopefully it has still that good insurance. They'll cover it. I don't think it'll cover all those cars, but if it doesn't, then the dealer does.
Yeah, you'd think the dealer would have pretty extensive insurance.
Yeah, the
on
dealer would
sold
jump in the
cars.
mix. The dealer would probably be really happy, like, "Oh yeah, we sold a lot of cars. This month we sold 20.
They're coming off the lot like hotcakes.
Other truck fire sale.
Oh, that's the best joke right there.
Lay it down, lay it
It's
down.
a fire sale. Next clip, please.
I gotta tell you, I actually got some juggling props if you'd rather see that. Let's see it, man. Whatever you feel comfortable. But the only requirement is you have to get a video of me juggling while I'm being pulled over.
Okay, so he's pulled over for DUI and he juggles. I don't know, man.
I've seen people that are drunk and still get down like that.
It might be that he's just really good at drunk juggling. This feels fake to me. You can see the guy's license plate, which says juggler, and then you can also see like the name of this restaurant in perfectly framed. So it could totally be viral marketing for this restaurant. Also, look at these cops. They're wearing like polo shirts, not real uniforms. I don't think he has a gun on his belt either.
They gotta leave it in the comments. You guys gotta leave it in the comments.
Watch.
These are real cops.
That's not a friggin' regular uniform. It's like a polo shirt. I will analyze this as if it is a real clip.
Okay.
I think this is viral marketing. I don't know what the hell police activity is, but I think this is completely fabricated. There are 3 tests that have been backed by science, which are walk and turn, stand on one leg, and looking at the horizon. Alcohol and other drugs tend to affect those areas of the brain. But that just means that the police tend to use those tests because they're backed up and are most likely to hold up in court. They could use a non-standard test like juggling, but it makes it much less likely that it would actually hold up in court.
Next clip.
It's a big pothole.
Ooh.
Oh.
Right there, you blew out. Lower control arms, the wheels shot for sure. The tire is blown. Shock is gone too. I want to say upper control arm. And if it hit the back too, the back wheel's gone too because I seen it. You're going to be spending anywhere, let's just say probably like about $3,500 easy. This, you could sue the city for sure.
Very possibly. Not 100%. It often depends on whether the city has notice. But actually, one reason you don't see a lot of like click to fix it programs is that if you dial 311 and let them know about a pothole, then the city is on notice that the hazard exists, and that is more likely to trigger their responsibility. Next clip.
Dylan Angulo was seriously injured, and his girlfriend, Nibel Benavidez, died after the Model S electric vehicle seen here and driven by George McGee crashed into them. McGee testifying he believed the autopilot would break if an obstacle was in the way.
This is a really sad case. We just covered this because this is the first major Tesla crash to go to a jury verdict. There have been Tesla crashes for years now,
Yeah.
but all of them have settled long before they got to a jury, settled out of court.
Right.
This is the first one that actually went to a jury, and Tesla was found liable for like $140 million in damages.
Oh,
Though there are some extenuating circumstances here because the driver was making the autopilot go faster than it normally would. So the driver was definitely at fault as well. But I think Tesla was found 30 or 40% liable at the same time. Again, you can have the driver is liable, but also the manufacturer is liable as well.
we worked on Teslas. Some of them, like when they lock out, they don't want to open no more.
Yeah.
Some of them, they stay on for some apparent reason. But Tesla usually tells you, call us, don't call the shop.
Right.
Call us and we'll go out. We'll send our professionals to repair it. Our mechanics will check it due to the fact that they don't want us to know what's wrong with it, and they also don't want us to repair it, and they don't want to get into problems. So they'll even cover their asses. Like what you were saying right now, that this one actually went all the way to a jury and all that stuff. Usually they do pay you off. Like they don't want to have any issues, but I mean, obviously somebody said that. Like your $1 million ain't gonna cover it this time.
Yeah.
We're going big. So there's a lot of issues with a lot of cars, because you guys got to remember, at the end of the day, we're the guinea pigs when it comes out to these new cars coming out, because you don't know how defective they are and what's the longevity of this car, like if it's going to be good or bad later on, mechanical wise, electrical wise. I've seen cars that they get washed in the car wash and that's it. That Tesla sat there,
Yeah.
didn't move.
Well, that's one of the things that really bothers me about Tesla is that the drivers are sort of the guinea pigs,
Yeah.
especially for the software systems. And I am completely confused as to how Elon Musk has gotten away with basically calling autopilot and now full self-drive, like self-driving cars. He's always saying truly self-driven cars are always 2 or 3 years away, but it's been 2 or 3 years away for like 15 years. He's made huge representations about what autopilot and full self-drive are capable of doing.
Correct.
And it is, and you know, all of them require that the driver still be responsible. I mean, just going off of the names themselves between autopilot or full self-drive and the representations that Elon Musk has made, I don't think that they are nearly as capable as they are
They're not.
portrayed to be. Well, I think now that this car has gone to verdict, I think there will be a lot more plaintiffs' cases than cases that go to trial. So
Yeah.
I am wondering if that's going to be real bad news for Tesla as a car company.
Sorry, Elon Musk. Not sorry. Next clip.
Oh, crap.
The chassis is trash. Some of these clips are usually from the snow, where it rains a lot, there's a lot of salt. When you build a car, you gotta look at how water travels. Let's just say water travels right here and it goes down here, right? What's right there, that's what you gotta look at. Like whether it be that's the frame itself, or is that his exhaust, or is that a nice drop point where it just leads out into the atmosphere, into the floor. But if you're dropping it right on the frame, that water travels right there, guess what? It's gonna get rusted in that frame. And that's where your point's gonna be, where it snaps. So with pickup trucks, usually the chassis does snap right there in the middle because there's nothing holding it. The unibody is not grabbing onto the front, nothing. It's just the chassis itself that crosses right over. What he's doing is just test driving it, and he was probably driving it and the truck was doing this. The ass was jumping up and down, and he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, as it happens, Toyota did pay out a huge settlement for rusted frames in Tacomas from the early 2000s through 2017. It's not surprising, I guess, that a vehicle with an open bed is more likely to get rust in that sort of center part of the chassis. But at the same time, you're selling a truck and you have to know that people are going to use it in the elements. So as a manufacturer, you need to be able to build a truck robust enough that it's not going to have that kind of frame damage.
So right here, you have a fighting case. Would you take this case, or was this like something in your ballpark, or not really?
Yeah. Well, not only the personal injury aspect of it, but the class action nature of it.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, that's how you get a class-wide recall is you file a class action lawsuit and say, look, every person that bought this year truck is going to have these problems. So you have to fix it on a class-wide basis. Sandro, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't seen it already, check out the video on Sandro's channel, RMS, where we react to other insane car stories. And until next time, I'll see you in court.